This isn't a Hollywood love story. It's what happens when love outlives life itself, when devotion becomes something stronger than time, fame, or even death. 3:47 a.m., August 4th, 1962, San Francisco. Joe DiMaggio's phone rang in the dark. He answered half asleep and heard a voice he would never forget. Trembling, broken, familiar. "Joe, I made a mistake. The biggest mistake of my life." He was already on his feet, reaching for his keys. "Stay there, Marilyn. I'm coming. Don't do anything. I'm coming right now." 400 miles away, in Los Angeles, the woman the world called Marilyn Monroe was alone in a quiet Spanish-style house on 5th Helena Drive. To Joe, she was still Norma Jean, the shy girl who once laughed over spaghetti in a small restaurant, the one who wanted nothing more than to be seen, truly seen, beneath the glitter of fame. By the time he reached her home at 8 o'clock that morning, she was gone. And the last words she had ever spoken to him were, "I should have stayed with you." When Joe met Marilyn, 1952. They met on a blind date arranged by a mutual friend. Joe DiMaggio, baseball legend, the quiet hero of the Yankees. Marilyn Monroe, Hollywood's rising star, radiant, magnetic, yet heartbreakingly lonely. When she walked into Villanova Restaurant in Los Angeles, heads turned, but Joe barely looked up. To him, she wasn't the movie poster on every wall. She was a nervous girl who hid behind a smile that fooled everyone except him. "You're not what I expected," he said softly. "Good or bad?" she asked. "Good," he smiled. "You're real." That single word, real, meant more to Marilyn than all the compliments she had ever been given. In a town built on make-believe, Joe DiMaggio was the first man who spoke to Norma Jean. They started dating quietly, away from the flashbulbs. He hated photographers. She lived for them. Yet somehow, they found peace together, cooking at home, watching television, being ordinary. For Marilyn, that was everything. In January 1954, they married at City Hall in San Francisco. No press, no publicity. Just two people chasing something the world said they couldn't have, normalcy. For a while, she believed it. Joe wanted dinners at home, quiet evenings, maybe children. Marilyn wanted scripts, recognition, a career that proved she was more than a pretty face. Love was there, but so were two impossible dreams colliding. The scene that shattered them. September 1954, New York City. Marilyn was filming The 7-Year Itch. The scene, the white dress over the subway grate, would become one of the most famous images in film history. For Joe, it was agony. He stood in the crowd as strangers whistled, shouted, and laughed at his wife while cameras flashed. He saw the woman he adored turn into a public fantasy. Later, in their hotel room, the silence was worse than the noise. "You let them treat you like that," he said, his voice shaking. "Like you're not even human, like you're just something to look at." "That's my job, Joe," she whispered. "That's who I am." "No," he said, "that's who they want you to be." "And if I stop," she asked, "then I'm nothing. Nobody cares about Norma Jean." "I care about her," he said quietly, "but you won't let me." She filed for divorce weeks later, citing mental cruelty. The newspapers turned it into a circus. Baseball hero loses movie star wife. Joe went home to San Francisco, heartbroken, humiliated, but still in love. Love that wouldn't die. He tried to move on. He couldn't. Even as Marilyn married playwright Arthur Miller in 1956, Joe never stopped caring. Through friends and quiet phone calls, he kept watch. When she was hospitalized for exhaustion, when she suffered miscarriages, when fame began to crush her. He never stopped being there in the background, silent, steady, faithful. When her marriage to Miller collapsed, Joe reappeared like a shadow turning solid again. Not to claim her, not to demand, just to be near enough to help. Reconnection. By 1961, they were seen together again. Dinners, drives along the coast, quiet laughter. Marilyn was fragile now, lost in the pressure of being Marilyn Monroe. Joe saw it instantly, the tremor in her smile, the pills on the nightstand, the way she said she was fine but looked anything but. One night, she asked him, "Why are you still here, Joe? I left you. I broke your heart. You should hate me." "I could never hate you," he said. "I love you. That doesn't stop just because you stopped being my wife." She looked down. "I don't deserve that." "You deserve everything," he whispered. She would call him late at night when she couldn't sleep. He'd answer every time. Sometimes they'd talk for hours about baseball, old movies, nothing at all. Other times, she'd just cry softly, and he'd listen. "You should come to San Francisco," he'd tell her. Get away from all this. Let me take care of you. Maybe someday, she'd say, when I'm done with all this. Promise you'll call if you need me, anytime, day or night. I promise. The call, August 4th, 1962, began like any other Saturday. Joe had plans to watch a ball game, maybe go out for dinner. 2 days earlier, he had spoken to Marilyn. She sounded tired but hopeful, said she might come to San Francisco soon. Then, in the middle of the night, the phone rang. Hello, Joe. Her voice was slurred, shaky. Marilyn, what's wrong? I made a mistake, the biggest mistake of my life. What mistake? Leaving you. Her words caught between sobs. I should have stayed with you. We could have figured it out. I was stupid, so stupid. Where are you? Home, but I'm not okay. I'm so tired, Joe. I'm so tired of pretending. Listen to me. I'm coming right now. Don't do anything. Just wait for me. You don't have to. Yes, I do. Stay there. A pause. Then softly, Joe, I really did love you. I do love you. I just didn't know how to be what you needed. You were always what I needed, he said. Just stay there. I'm coming. He hung up, threw on clothes, and ran for his car. The clock read 3:50 a.m., 400 miles to Los Angeles, 6 hours on paper. He'd do it in 4. The drive. The highway was empty, the world asleep. Joe DiMaggio pressed down on the accelerator and flew south through the darkness. Every mile replayed a memory. Their first date, their wedding, the fights, the laughter, her eyes when she told him she loved him. He thought of all the times he could have done more, said more, loved better. He whispered into the empty car, just hold on, baby. Hold on until I get there. Dawn broke near Bakersfield. He stopped for gas, called her number from a payphone. No answer. He told himself she was asleep. That was good. She needed rest. 2 more hours and he'd be there. He rehearsed what he'd say, that he'd been wrong too, that love wasn't about control or rules. It was about acceptance. That he didn't care about fame anymore. He just wanted her alive, wanted her home. Maybe it wasn't too late. Maybe this time he'd get it right. 7:55 a.m., Brentwood, Los Angeles. Joe turned onto 5th Helena Drive and saw the police cars, the coroner's van, the ambulance. He parked, heart hammering, and ran toward the house. A uniformed officer stopped him. Sir, you can't go in there. I'm Joe DiMaggio. That's Marilyn Monroe's house. What happened? Is she okay? The officer hesitated, then lowered his eyes. I'm sorry, Mr. DiMaggio. Miss Monroe was found unresponsive this morning. She's deceased. The word didn't register. Deceased? Joe repeated. No, I just talked to her 4 hours ago. She called me. She was fine. She was waiting for me. I'm very sorry, sir. There was nothing anyone could do. He stood in the driveway, numb, staring at the house. 4 hours. That's all that separated life from death. If he'd left sooner, if he'd driven faster, if he'd called someone. The guilt hit him like a wave he'd never escape. When they finally let him inside, the house was silent. Her bedroom looked peaceful, too peaceful. He told detectives about the phone call, her words, the way she sounded. They wrote it all down, filed it away, moved on. Joe never did. The funeral. When the world moved on to gossip and headlines, Joe DiMaggio took control of what mattered. He arranged the funeral himself. No studios, no photographers, no fake friends. Only family and the few who loved her as Norma Jean. He stood beside her casket, hand resting gently on it. No tears, just quiet devastation. A friend later asked what he whispered before they closed it. I told her I loved her, he said, and that I was sorry, and that I'd never forgive myself. The roses. After the funeral, Joe began a ritual that lasted 20 years. Every week, 6 red roses were delivered to Marilyn's crypt at Westwood Memorial Cemetery. No note, no signature, just flowers. When the florist once asked him why 6, Joe answered softly, 1 for every month we were married, and 3 more for the years I should have fought harder. He never remarried. He dated quietly but never seriously. Because when you've known a love that deep, everything else feels like settling. The roses became his apology, his confession, his way of saying, I still love you. Even death couldn't end the conversation between them. The final words. In 1999, at 84 years old, Joe DiMaggio lay in a hospital bed, frail but calm. He'd lived a long life, fame, glory, history, but none of it mattered now. What mattered was a voice he could still hear in the dark, whispering, I do love you. His attorney leaned in as Joe murmured his last words, I'll finally see Marilyn. And with that, the story ended exactly where it had begun. A man, a woman, and a love that refused to die. Because sometimes forever isn't about being together. It's about never stopping loving, even when the world says you should.